What is going on, family? It is a Sunday. It is a Sunday. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday today. If you know anything about me, I shared this with my patrons a couple weeks ago. We won't get into too much detail today, but I shared this recently with my patrons that if you know anything about me, Sundays are like the worst day of the week for me. Almost every single week, it's one of those things that I've heard everybody give me the spiel about the psychology of like, oh, if you go into it that way, it's automatically gonna be a bad day. But if you'd ask my wife when I came downstairs 2 minutes ago, I've been in the best damn mood today, man. Like I've been in a great mood today. What's going on, Paul? I see you right there. I'm going to move that up a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. But yeah, so like I know the psychology behind, not going into every day. What's going on, Aaron? About, that Sundays are just like that. You know what I mean? But I was in a great mood. I come downstairs and I check my comments. And that's where the problem was, guys. It's like, I shouldn't have checked the comments. I should have just hopped right on here. I was in a great mood. I come across one comment that I was just like, man, you are making me out to seem like I am for this. And I was like, man, you took everything I said as completely the wrong way. And I know you can't please everybody. I know you can't. And I'm not going to let it ruin my night. I really am not. That's why I got on here even quicker. That's why I try to get on the live even faster today, because you guys always seem to put me in a better mood. And I'm not going to let that kind of negativity bring me down. Sometimes you can't make everybody happy, and that's one thing I've definitely learned on YouTube is like there's no way you can make anybody happy, no matter how much you try to be an advocate or a supporter for something. Like people are still going to try to twist your words and make it seem like you're about something that you're not. And I was like, you're never going to come back anyway. So thanks for leaving that terrible comment, and I hope you enjoy your life. So yeah, it sucks when people, like I said, I hate when people just feel they need to say something like that and then just kind of dip. You know what I mean? It just sucks. So I'm like, it's not going to ruin my night. We're not going to stay on focused on that. I know that in my heart of heart, in my soul of souls, that I'm definitely not for what they were insinuating. And my goal has always been to support women in general on my platform on YouTube. I feel like I have a whole series dedicated to the idea of like celebrating women as being the people who are the front members of the band, those artists, those people who do those things. I'm not going to let one comment bother me and change how I feel about that. Like, just because you might not get what I'm trying to do doesn't mean that I'm still not trying to do that. So I'm not going to let that kind of negativity ruin that kind of energy here on a Sunday that I'm actually having a good Sunday, when I'm actually having a good one. Like I said, very rarely do I feel like, this excited and this happy on a Friday. And I'm already getting to the point where I feel like I've said enough about it. And I feel like, I'm already feeling better about it already. So I'm glad I was able to get that off my chest. And I'm going to go ahead and say hi to you guys here in the chat. What is going on, Anna, my friend? I see that you are here. I was actually thinking the Skinner Brothers tour started Friday and was live streamed, and they dropped a new song today. Yes. I was actually thinking about checking it out today on today's live stream, actually. Because I saw that, and I saved it actually already, because I saw that they came out with a brand new song, so I was interested in checking that out. Oh, Terry, what's going on, my friend? You said nice shirt. Honestly, guys, I can't take it off. I've been wearing it all weekend. I haven't taken it off. I have showered, and changed my shirt, but I am just rocking this hoodie almost everywhere I've gone since VHSs came out. If you have not heard it yet, please go listen to it. But I know everybody on here has already listened to it. I know you guys have been great supporters for Freeze the Fall. I've been trying really hard to try to think of ways that we could try to get their video up to like 10,000 views this weekend and try to promote it and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I had a very busy weekend, so I'm back from that now, and I'm back to the grindstone. And I've been thinking really hard at trying to like find something that we could do and, just try to help spread the word. But there's a ton of great reactors out there that have, out there with great reactions, and they're building those numbers daily and strong. So, it's all a numbers game, and it's all just going to be, it'll happen naturally. And I just one of those things that I want to be able to like do something where I'm like, I feel like they deserve, a million views tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's, it's such a great song, it's such a great video, and I feel like if just more people would hear it, then more people would enjoy it. But at the same time, like, you know, things are going to happen in their own times. And I wish that there was ways that we could figure out to be able to give that to them. But, you know, we can only do what we can do. So we're just going to try to love and support as much as we can. So that's why I kept the Freeze the Fall bear up today on the live stream. Is where I'm wearing my Freeze the Fall hoodie again, because, you know, I just love that band, and I'm just so happy and excited for them. And their new song is so good, and that video is just so fire. I know a lot of people have been telling me about how the horror theme is not for them, but like, you know, if you're a fan like I am, oh my god, it was so good, so good. Like, oh my god, I don't know how much money they spent or how much they were able to sneak out of maybe like a low budget or whatever that they were able to do, but like, it looks fantastic and amazing. Like, it's worth every cent and penny that they put into overall making that. So it's so good. And I hope that we can just spread the word and give them that million views. I feel like it's going to happen. It's still going to happen, but it's still early, and we just got to try to spread that word out there. What's going on, Cosmic, my friend? I see you. Bell Development, what's going on, my friend? Mr. Bell Development net over there. I don't know if I'm supposed to just call you Bell Development. You know, your name's popping up, you know. Am I supposed to protect the identity on that aspect there, sir? I've seen reactors jumping on VS. Yes, Steve, you've been a great help in that as well. You know, like every time I was like, you know, it was kind of like a really quick trip. Like every time I was stopping, getting gas, I was jumping on somebody else's reaction and trying to like comment at least like a little, you know, a little rock titty or something, just to try to help boost the algorithm, go back to their page and stuff. And honestly, it kind of comes back to one of the things I had to talk about, which we won't get into that yet. I'll save that for a little bit later. I did kind of let my Discord know already that I had a few things I wanted to talk about this evening, and one of them was an apology to the Warning Army. We'll get to that later, though. We will get to that later, but that was one thing that I had heavy on my mind, was I did have something to talk about when it came to that, and Freeze the Fall, when you kind of tie both of those bands in my world together that way. Cosmic, I said hi to you. Oh, what's going on, Aaron? I see you. Steve, yes, you've been a huge supporter. I'm there you with the horror. Yes, those of us who love horror, that video was awesome and sick. Cosmic said it was the horror. Aaron, I don't know if I said hi to you already, but I'm going to say hi again. Always appreciate you, my friend. I try to call you amigo as much as possible, sir. That's like, I feel like our bond there, like with the whole amigo thing right there. And I said hi to you. Gil, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? We have been busy as fuck. Good, no worries, bro. Like, I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening tonight. Oh, what's going on, TX2 Official? I probably need to do something with TX2. I saw he dropped a recent video, too. And somebody had commented on about that as well. That was the other comment I noticed today. I noticed the one positive and the one negative, like right off the rip, and I'm like, man, I really should just skip over that today, man. I really just should have. I was in a great mood, and I was like, the one person that was like, actually, it seems like you're this kind of person, and I'm like, nah, come on, yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. It's totally not my vibe, man. Totally not my vibe. My apology to the Warning Army. All right, yeah, we can tie that in now. Because it's probably the perfect time to do that now that I've said hello to everybody and greeted everybody on this fine Sunday evening. When did we go back to daylight savings time, by the way? That totally like fucked with my brain today. Like I was noticing clocks changing. Like I said, I'm coming back from like a really quick long trip, so like I'm already kind of like jet lagged in all kinds of weird ways and shit. So like the time did just completely screwed me up today. So like, yeah, that was crazy. So Freeze the Fall, I've been thinking a lot about them on my trip. Like I said, I was jumping like every single video, and like I was going back to I went back to their VHS, right? Because I'm like, you know, gotta try to get their numbers and boost their numbers, right? So going there, I'm doing my boosting, I'm reading people's comments, seeing how people are feeling about the song and stuff like that. And, you know, adding like my own little like add-in and a little reply and stuff like that. Totally being that guy trying to just help boost that algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I feel like I see it sometimes happen on my own channel. So I'm like, you know, just trying to give back a little bit that way. So I'm doing all that, and I come across a comment in Freeze the Fall's page. And I started to think to myself, damn, I'm probably a little too hard on some of those people in the Warning Army. that I was giving that hell to. I was like, man, I feel like I owe them apology now because I feel I talk a lot about the difference and how there's a fine line between a stan and a fan. And I found myself having a stan moment where I was like, this is stan behavior, Johnny. Don't you dare say something. Don't you dare say something, Johnny. This guy, and I started thinking about it, man, and I just want to say I owe the Warning Army an apology. Some of the things I've said about them, and that we've talked about them in the past, some of those things I do not take back. But in some aspects, I do owe them that apology. So I owe them the apology because I understand in a moment where I was like, yo, don't you dare say something bad about them. No criticism is allowed on this page right now, is how I felt. And I was like, yo, that's how some of these Warning Army people feel because they were there. They were there. And I get it now. I get it. I was like, you know what, Johnny? You're just doing sometimes what they do, but they've had a lot more practice and time of learning how to be better about that. And there's so many of you guys out there, and especially like you guys are here on my channel. You guys have already been great about that. So you guys give me so much perspective on certain things that I've never really thought about as a person who was trained was trained by the military to try to think of every possible scenario, the worst and best outcome, right? There's always something that you don't know, and there's always an avenue that you didn't know was there. And so there's always room for perspective. And I feel like that kind of made me like we think about that what we were talking about a little bit in the Discord yesterday. Like I said, I was traveling, so I wasn't able to get as active on all of my socials and all that kinds of stuff as I was wanting to be and typically are. But I was checking in, kind of reading over things, kind of giving a little heart and this and that when I could. And when I was doing all that, I was reading this really interesting conversation that somebody brought up and said, hey, you should talk about this on a live stream. And I said, that's a great idea. Because when it comes to perspective, they were talking about how they like to use webcam, fan cams, fan cam footage to check out bands, and sometimes for like the first time, like you never heard the band, never know what they sound like, and that was kind of like their gateway and their entryway to like check that artist out. And and the other person was talking about that they would like never think to ever do it that way. And I kind of thought about this the same way as in terms of how I felt about it. Because for me, I was like, I don't typically like fan cam footage really at all. And definitely not in terms of like a reaction, if that makes sense. Because in terms of like a reaction, especially to an artist I don't know and have never heard before, definitely not. You know what I mean? I would never want to do it from that perspective. Because, and I do like the live versions, because that's typically what the band released, right? If the band's going to release the live version, that means that this is how you wanted it to be seen. Not necessarily just how some random fan might have took a performance where I'm going to feel some sort of way about it based on what they did. Does that make sense? And so I'm like, I don't want to, but then I started thinking about the flip side of that, right? The flip side of someone who runs to that, right, is like you get to watch a super fan's perspective of seeing their favorite band, right? A lot of times from a fan cam, right? Because if you're doing a fan cam, and these kinds of people, I'll call them out for a minute here too. If you're this kind of person, I don't necessarily love that you do this. So maybe somebody can give me some perspective on this one of maybe why that I shouldn't be so hard on these people. So I was going to a show, right? And we were at an event, and this guy didn't know any song from the band, period. And he had his phone like up on the railing, and he had like the little VIP crow's nest seats, right? And he sat there, and he just he would press play, record their live song of this, press pause, then he would press play again, and then he would just record every single live performance of that song, not knowing who this artist is, like, at all. And I was like, I didn't really love that, because what I thought to myself, now being a content creator, was This guy is just going to go post that to go get views and shit for an artist that he doesn't even like. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even supporting them. You know what I mean? Like, he's not singing along. He's not enjoying the show. He's not even paying attention half the show. He's doing that on one phone and, like, playing, like, Flappy Bird or whatever the hell that game was, like, 10 years ago. Like, in shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even paying attention. And I was like, I don't like people that do that stuff. So, yes, I don't like to run a fan cam stuff because it's, like I said, you might ruin a band for me because of somebody else's video that you posted. But the one that's, like, on the pit, and that the one that where the girl is screaming the whole time and you can't even hear the artist, I do like those videos because, again, I can understand that perspective of when you're going into like an unknown and you're seeing like the super fans like reaction. It kind of does draw you in a bit where you're like, oh, this is how people feel about this artist. Can I also feel that way? Can I also grow that connection? Can I get to that point where I would be maybe potentially somebody like this person where I just couldn't help myself when they were playing this song and I was singing it at the top of my lungs. There was a video, there was a million of them, by the way, but there was a video during the whole We Were Young Vest that there was like one particular one that stuck out in my mind where this song came on. I don't remember which one it was. And this girl was like just singing it at the top of her lungs. I do remember it was a Pierce the Veil song. I do remember that because like not a lot of people in the crowd were singing it. But that was her like, yo, that when this song came out on this record, I listened to it a million times that summer. You know what I mean? Like, and she could not help herself. And that's when you create those authentic moments. And those kind of fan cams, I do enjoy. But a lot of times it's because somebody sent that to me. You know what I mean? I don't typically would go run to click on it from an artist, especially that I didn't know. But of course, like, you know, scrolling through social media and stuff, you find stuff like that like all the time. I'm going to go ahead and start looking at the chat. I definitely need to change my bot settings because this is going on, I feel like, way too much now than I originally had intended. Chad, what's going on, my friend? Hello from Arizona. Hope you're doing well tonight. Last night, clocks changed. Whoa, Poe Cabal, what's going on, Poe? What's going on, friend? I see you, Ball. Getting rid of the kids for bed. I see you. I missed Romaine to catch the live stream. Skinner Brothers. Yep, we got Skinner Brothers on the list tonight. If we're going to get into some reactions. All same. I'm not a fan. That's where YouTube can tighten things up, especially for reactors to stick to official releases. Find a way to attach the copyright so it pleases the money trail. Yeah, it's kind of the other thing too. Is like, you know, I try to make sure that that the reactions that I do record are from the actual artist, so that way, if they allow it, I can give them back the money that I would be able to share with them, you know, or however it's going to trickle back to in most cases their record labels. But that's where we like to support those independent artists for sure, and those independent artists are really easy to get it back to. Somebody had talked about somebody brought up another interesting point on the Discord the other day about this one particular artist that I'm not going to use their name because I don't want to like bring any kind of like negative attention to them that way, because their music does sound actually really good and really up my alley. Like I definitely have checked out some of their music and it's good. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, that they were telling me about how that band and that artist does not like reactors. Like they'll get them all blocked and removed. And I was explaining this to my friend over the weekend, and he's like, you know, how does that work? And I was like, it really is who owns the music. You know what I mean? Like what they want and what their opinion of it is. Like, you know, so it's always a flip of a coin. Some people will like The Warning is a great example. Now that they are signed, all their Keep Me Fed stuff, all their new stuff, like you can't make like any money off of that stuff, like because all of it is going to their record label now. They'll allow you to keep it on there. It's a good move in the aspect of like this is a reactor community that has gotten The Warning to where they are, so you want to allow it to continue. But now the reactors don't make any money off of anything that they do from like modern day Warning stuff.
I know that there's some exceptions to that and whatnot, but for the most part, almost everything, because they're under Universal, or a version of Universal, that they get all that money, they don't share it, they want to take it all. They don't even want to share it with you. But they will let you keep it up there. They'll let you use it, but you can't make any money off of it. That's really the big problem with them, is like they don't share it, and that's where I said, like, not all signed artists are bad that way. Like, it really just depends on who has it and what their contracts are, what they negotiate. That's why the Warning under Universal can do it, and other bands and artists, like, you can't even just post it at all, because it's really all just so different and unique that way, that it makes it difficult to, like, if you really do support a band a lot, you could basically never make any money off of them. Like, even if you, like, rock with them super hard, you can never potentially make any money off of the things that you do from them, and just an effort to support. But at the end of the day, when it comes to that negative comment I was talking about earlier, whether you love or hated it, you watched it, and it's adding to the artist algorithm. And that's really what's more important to me, is that at least it's bringing more attention to that artist. And whether you love or hate what I said about it, means you probably liked their song. So that's probably what means more to me than anything, is that you supporting them, not necessarily supporting me. I'm just trying to help them. That's always been my goal, is to support the artist. And the ones who accept that the most, it's just easier to react to them. You know what I mean? Like, Ren's a perfect example. Like, when you are a fan of it, it makes it that much easier for me to be more interested in doing your reactions. He's just different. I don't feel like I choose things based off of that at all, because I never wanted it to be that way. But I also obviously just can't just do, like, every band that I love, and I also can't make anything off of that. So, like, I can't just only do that stuff. So I have to try to, like, move it around, try to find the ones that I do and don't, like, you know what I mean? So, like, the Warning, it's one of those things that I'm like, I like them so much, and I'm like, there's some of the stuff that you can, it's good exposure for the band, it's added to the community, you continue to do it, you know what I mean? But if I'm struggling with a band that's not getting any views, why would I continue to try? So it's just kind of sucks in that aspect, where it's just like, some bands, it's not going to matter, you know what I mean? Like Freeze the Fall, like, I don't care how many views I get from them, you know what I mean? Because I love them, you know what I mean? And people seem to like there was a reaction, so it's a good thing. So it makes it easier that way. It definitely does make it easier that way. But yeah, the Warning is one of those things that are just different. I have just different love and respect for their band and stuff like that. It just makes it a little bit difficult. I like the fact that they have no problem. They don't block your videos. They've never had a block. They've never had a copyright strike. So, like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, that's what I can't play with. I can't play with somebody who's going to potentially strike me. Does that make sense? And unless I've made some sort of contact with that person, and they say, hey, it's cool that you talk about my stuff, I like your stuff that you do, but, like, you're just never going to be able to profit off of it or make money or anything like that. Like, it's just never going to be that. That's fine too. Like I said, it just really depends on that particular situation. So it's. I try to not let, like I said, I've said for a million times probably already, that I try to not let, like, the monetary, like, decision, like, ever, like, guide my path that way. Does that make sense? I'm like, every artist I react to, it's because I like them. If I continue to keep going, it's because I like them. I am never just following the paper trail. Like, I can't do that, and I don't feel like I can do that authentically. Does that make sense? I'm like, I can only, like stuff and love things and follow those trails. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm saying. Like, even like with Angelina Jordan, where she's like so, like, outside of my typical wheelhouse, she's fascinating to me. Does that make sense? Like, there's something interesting about her where, like, I can't help but, like, keep going and keep clicking. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, I gotta keep going. And as long as, like, the response is that people enjoy them, that's overall what I'm looking for. I'm like, I can't react to a band that I love and I get 20 views on, just because, it's there's so many other things I could be doing that people might be enjoying. And my overall goal is to try to provide entertainment to people and to try to, again, leave a place of positivity and not a place that encourages bad male toxic behavior. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever tried to give off the vibes that I want that to persist in the world. I feel like I speak very highly against that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's it's still going to bother you a little bit, but yeah, it's just a little ridiculous. How could people even think that? What is going on, Roger Chance, my friend? How are you doing today, Poe? I get where you're coming from. I love several independent artists, and they aren't big but growing. Yes, like I said, the independent artists are the ones that need the help and the support the most. You know what I mean? Because they're on the hardest journey and the hardest path. You know, the Warning have done that for a long time, but now they are a signed band that gets MTV deals and they get MTV recognition and they get all those things now because they are a signed artist. So as much as I like them and will continue to do videos for them and support them, they're not like the highest on my priority list because they're already of a certain pedigree. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I mean? Like Ren is still today doing everything by himself. You know what I mean? Trying to go through health treatments and stuff like that. You know, all this kinds of stuff all on their own team, their own groups and organizations. I love the idea of that because, you know, once you get signed, you really are just part of the big conglomerate, and you're as much as you can still kind of be the same band, you're not really going to be the same band anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's a lot of other bands and groups out there that really need the help. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like I was very heavy and on the Warning for a long time. But I've gotten through a lot of their stuff, and I'm going to continue with the Warning for sure, because there's still a lot of things I have not seen yet. But as far as like just like the heavy flow with the videos, like they once were, is I can't justify to myself why I keep running back to it and why I keep giving that particular fan group. I like to spread the love, you know what I mean? I love to spread the love. I never wanted to be pigeonholed to like one band and one artist. Even though I'm very stuck on Freeze the Fall these days. But hey, it was release week. You know what I'm saying? It was release week, and we're still trying to spread the word. So they need the help. Let's do it. We got to help them. One of these days, I'll get you to hear Solaris. Didn't we listen to Solaris though? I swear to God, we listened to Solaris on the last live stream. I think it was the last song we listened. That was the band that had the song where they were out in the snow, right? Where they're out in the snow, right? Tell me I'm wrong, fam. I swear to God we watched Solaris. I swear we did because of you. I swear you were the one. I swear you were. Chad, time zones don't change in Phoenix. Yes, that's what I'm saying, man. I thought the rest of the U.S. was getting on board with that. And then my wife was like, nah, they changed that. I was like, what? I didn't hear that news. I didn't hear about all that stuff, man. They deserve the attention and help, too. Are we talking about Solaris still? What's going on, Joe? Yeah, for sure. If you haven't said hi yet, be sure to say hi. Be sure to say hi in the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm almost positive Solaris was included in the last live stream. Thank you, Aaron. I'm telling you, man. I swear I did Solaris. I also need to get better about like posting my individual reactions from the live streams, I think, too. Like I'm pretty bad about that. And Poe, you're gonna kill me about that because you asked me about when the one other one from that one very first live stream. I'm so glad, man. Honestly, you Bandmate fans. I'm so glad the love and support you guys gave me on those two videos where I was like, this is like of the worst quality. And you guys still wanted them and still liked them and watched them anyway. So that was just very cool that you guys did that. And appreciated that. But yes, Poe, I still owe you that. And I'm getting on the next documentary this week as well because I am very much enjoying my Bandmate journey. And I'm ready to check out the next one because I'm getting down to the last, I think, 4. Because I got 2 more members, I think, to go through. And the last, the Pigeon. I got to find out why they call her the Pigeon. You know what I mean? I learned about how to speak Pigeon, Poe. But I don't know exactly where the Pigeon thing came from. So I got to learn about that. Pretty sure you did Solaris. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, no, I meant Freeze the Fall. Okay, yes, absolutely. Well, we're going to support Freeze the Fall all day, every day. You know what I mean? The way a lot of you guys are the TWA for life, that is how I feel about Freeze the Fall. Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. That band has won my heart over for damn sure. I am so very excited and honored to be able to get a chance to sit down with them in a couple weeks and talk with them. That is going to be very exciting. I have got a lot of like back and forth like feelings about some ideas and some questions about like what I should bring up or say, maybe even on it or not. But I'm still doing all my my preparation and my journalistic preparation of reviewing their material, the things they've been asked before and want to be original. And, this is also setting the tone for what a Johnny Foxtrot interview looks like, man. There's a couple artists out there. Shout out to them. I won't say their names on here today. But there's a couple artists out there that I already do have lined up to interview as well outside of Freeze the Fall. So I'm very excited about that as well. So I'm like I said, I am all about helping and assisting the little guy. You know what I mean? I have been that way my entire fucking career, and I can thank the military and I can thank my deployment, honestly, for that, because all of the struggles that I have gone through with PTSD, I think has only made me a more empathetic person and has more just, the thing that I give a fuck the most about is helping the people who need the help the most. Does that make sense? Because I'm like, that's why I said like with the warning, when I look around at the people that I react, I feel like the warning is the only group that I'm reacting to that doesn't need my help. You know what I mean? There's so many better warning reactors out there. There's people who've been doing that for years that can talk about like the nuances and all the different things about the warning. And like, it almost just kind of feels like, what am I feel like I'm just wasting my time with them. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I get it. People seem to like them. You know what I mean? They always seem to like the warning views. But I would much rather help the smaller bands. You know what I mean? And so that's my heart is always going to lie with that. If that makes any sense. So, yeah, like I said, Freeze the Fall, even like I said, even the bands like the Skinner Brothers, man, I don't even barely know any of their music, but like the grind and the work ethic that I've seen from an independent band like that, like it's cool, man. You got to support that. I love the idea of an artist that can, try to find their sound, and their sound doesn't mean anything. Does that make sense? Where you're just writing. You know what I mean? Some things are going to be for some people, and some people are going to hate it. You know what I mean? But those artists that are just like constant, like TX2 is another one. Like, you're just someone who just writes a lot. Not everything is going to be the one. Not everything's going to be great. But when it just shows the artistic creativity, the creative side of somebody. You know what I mean? Those people that can't stop and can't help but write. Like they're going to keep going. They're going to eventually find gold. Eventually you will find one that breaks, man. You know what I mean? Like it's going to happen. Even if the one you think is going to be the one, it'll happen. You know what I mean? Like I try to always be original when I try to think of like what to say when I meet an artist or get a chance to get a meet and greet and get a picture and stuff like that. I always try to find something like interesting and unique to say that like they just haven't heard a million times. Does that make any sense? Like, they've heard your music has changed my life. Your music has saved my life. They've heard all those things like 1,000 times. Like, it's because it's hard to say something original to somebody that gets complimented on those kinds of things a lot. So like I remember meeting this one band and I told him, and he looked at me like I was crazy when I said this, because I'm like, I feel like I completely threw him off guard. Because I said, I'm like, hey man, I really love your writing. Don't ever quit. And he was, you know what I mean? And I was like, good writers, even if you don't have anything great now, like great, a great writer never stops writing. Does that make sense? They can't help themselves. There's always something to write about. That's what an artist is. That's what I see in bands like Freeze the Fall, is I see a collective idea that they have to put out something. And there's a need for that, and there's a desire for that. Like they're in a constant state of like, I have to express. I'm going to have to create. I'm going to have to do these things. Ren, you're going through like the toughest times of your life, and you're like, I got to put the song out for the fans because it's all you care about. You know what I mean? COVID happens. You're like, let's get together, get some bottles of red wine, and let's play some fucking videos, man, because we're artists. We create. We can't help ourselves. And it turned out to be like such fire. Not everything is going to be the fire, but a lot of it does. You know what I mean? That's what I'm attracted to, is that real. You know what I mean? When you can feel and see the real, when people are giving a part of themselves, they're giving like that little bit of their soul into everything that they're doing. It doesn't have to be the deepest cut. It doesn't have to be like the deepest part of their soul, but they're still giving you a little part of themselves. And that's what I feel like I gravitate towards when it comes to artists, is that people, when I see people do that stuff, is what is going to draw me into you. And like, you know, when I get into the world and I see that's who you are, and then like, you know, find out you're good people, and then you find out like, you know, that you care about some of the same things that I kind of care about, and you see all that kind of stuff happen, and just, it's that much easier to like somebody. You know what I mean? It's that much easier to like just rock with it. Not every painting that Van Gogh does was the coolest fucking painting in the world, but I really fucking rock with his art. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with music. Like The Warning, not every song that they did, despite what the Warning Army will tell you, not every single song is the greatest song ever written. You don't know how many times I've heard this is in my top 3 Warning song on like every video. Every single song. Because it's like, they can't all be top 3. You know what I mean? They can't all be top 3. They have more than 3. So how is everyone top 3? You know, maybe top 3 from this record, top 3 from this album, top 3 from, you know, and that's how deep the Warning Army goes, right? They're like, this goes from top 3. Same thing with Angelina fans. This is the top song from when she was at age 8. Top song from when she was at age 10. Top performance, best vocal at age 13. You know, like they're very, very specific. Like, you know, because those are artists, man. Like, you know, you can't help but you can't gravitate towards them. You know what I mean? Like, they're just intriguing, interesting people. Like I said, if you look at my wall, I would argue that almost everybody on my wall is an artist. Let's see if anybody isn't. Oh, those Guns N' Roses guys, they weren't very artistic. They just want like one of the greatest albums of all time that will live on forever. Forever. I'm gonna catch heat for that Guns N' Roses jam, I think. Probably more for my shots at the Warning Army. Never at the Warning. Never shots at the Army. I thought about wearing my sunglasses at night today, just because of how much I was talking about that in my video on Friday. Enter reactors we listen to, sub to, and comment the way to support them, not only them, but also the band and artists they are covering. Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I think the Warning Army has down really, really well. So if there's any of y'all that I can help convince that aren't aware of this on the, you know, let's go do some right now, guys. Let's go ahead and do this right now. And then I think we're going to get in, maybe, let's listen to some music. I feel like we need to probably listen to some music. I think that this will be a great opportunity to teach anybody who's not aware, who's not on the Warning Army, you know, not you guys during the live stream. I know you guys. It's the guys who will have to check in later. Appreciate you guys, too. You guys watching on the backside. You know, I learned a lot about this stuff since I became a YouTuber and a content creator, whatever the hell you want to call me. Window capture. All right. Yep. That's what we want to do. I didn't learn about a lot of this stuff until, like I said, man, I'm still growing, bro. I still have no idea what the fuck I'm doing half the time about anything. And at the end of the day, I'm going on the fly a lot of the time. So I didn't know for the longest time, and I think I talked about this on the last live stream, that like I can literally see the boosting happen. You know what I mean? I told my wife, you know, explaining this to her the one day, I'm like, I didn't realize how much this is kind of like a real thing. But like videos, I won't get comments or views for weeks. All of a sudden, one person comments, I comment back, and then all of a sudden, 2-3 more comments like the next day. Does that make sense? I'm like it's like when something happens on that video, it pushes it like to the next person. It's like the craziest thing in the world. I really don't understand how the aliens and the AI is taking over the world. I don't understand the intricacies. All I know is be careful, protect yourselves, protect your family. Don't trust Apple products, bro. They've been lying to us for years, man. You got to get off the monopoly. It's a bad thing when monopolies happen. Did we not learn anything from the game? Did we not learn anything from the game, guys? All right. What the hell was I doing? Yes, we were gonna go. We were talking about boosting. We need to go figure out how much. There we go. That is the one I was looking for. Now I'm on the right one. All right. Let me go ahead and share. Let me go ahead and share. Where is it at? Window capture. Let's turn that on. Properties. Royal Lynn. Yeah, Royal Lynn. Talk about Royal Lynn, Aaron. What about Royal Lynn is interesting to Aaron? Would you say? Is because Royal Lynn is apparently a country artist. So the very first one that we did on the live stream last week was apparently a country artist. And he just thinks that he's so slick, bro, for thinking that he can just slip in a country artist like that and be like, hey, Johnny, did you know? Hey, look at that. We're up to almost 6,000 views. All right. So let's see. We're at like 6,000 views right now. We've already liked it. Now we got to go, hey, there's me. We got to go through and start doing some boosting. Love it. Damn. Let's comment. Damn is right. And reply. All right. Congrats to Freeza Fall. 4 subs headed into 1 million now. That's right. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's comment on that one too. Oh, Freeza Fall comment on that one. Yeah, you just go through and you just start liking all this stuff, man. We don't want to tag Freeze the Fall. That's not what we're looking to do. We are looking to reply to Ice Storm with let's go. And we'll leave him with a little Frozen Rock Teddy. There we go. I don't know what the deal is with the doubles, bro. I really don't get it. Really don't get it. All right, a little bit more boosting, and then we're going to get into listening to this thing because I don't want to, like, comment. Where's that? Is that Ashleyna? I am so obsessed. My reaction will go up today. Let's see. Did you like it? Did you like it? Okay, let's. My reaction will go up today. I always tell her that she is the best in the business. Right here. Right, and then Frozen Teddy. Go and support Ashleyna. She's great. If I'm skipping over anybody, guys, who's a reactor, don't think it's on purpose. It's probably just because I don't know. Hey, that's our man Jeremy. He's good. Yep, a little bit more boosting. See if you see a lot of these black ones. I've already done this stuff. Breakdown goes so hard. You damn right it does. 666 realistic performance. Jonah is a great actor. That's right, Skywolf. That's right, man. You ain't fucking lying, bruh. You ain't lying. Holy shit, I'm not a fan of the video, but the music is undeniable. Yeah, we'll still give him a like. He was still nice. He was still nice. Oh, look at that. Okay, I'm on board, and Johnny Foxtrot introduced me. That's right. Oh, I forgot about that, Elsie. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. That is so cool. It doesn't matter if it's me or if it's anybody else. If they like this band, that is good enough for me. Because they are great. All right, so that is enough boosting. Let's go ahead and give them a view, and let's go ahead and listen to it one more time. So that way we can listen to it. Please let me know if you guys can't hear it. Close your eyes if you're a little scared of scary stuff. Just listen, because the song was good anyway.
Tell
lot of people were talking about like how great that their acting was in this video. Like Jonah, his acting in this video, Quinn, Arya, all of them, all three of them, was like the step between this and like all the stuff in like the Frozen joint, like in the Frozen barn thing that they were doing all that stuff in, like a huge jump, man. Like this, I almost feel like they like could be actors at the same time. Like this is as how are you good at making music and at acting? Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't be good at everything, guys. You can't be good at everything.
To the memory. So learn to love me, then you'll fly. Carve your name into headlines. Watch wait for you to find. Film her cries for life.
Dude, his little like throne drum thing too, man. Hold on, let's go back. This little, where is it at? Hold on. Look at this thing. I feel like they didn't put that jump on the stage, man. Like that is to be on the stage. Like that shit is sick. Talk about like like setting up the stage to look like that at your performances would be fucking dope. But yeah, it'd be a lot to set up though. There'd be a lot to set up. Maybe like when we're doing them headliners, you gotta have the throne chair out there, bro. Like I feel like you're setting the precedence for like what we want to see one day with this. I feel like every time I've watched this video now, I feel like I notice something new in it. And like the breakdown part, when they kick up to that breakdown and the conductor like kind of really gets into like that part right there, I didn't really notice it. I don't think until like this particular one where he kind of like has this little moment. Like they have so many of those like little half-second shots in this video that are super badass. And the way that they incorporated them in there. I feel like I said it in my initial reaction to this one, that I could probably go like frame by frame in this video and have something to say, because there was so much that was happening that I felt was just like executed to like perfection, like overall in this video. I was completely blown away by the what they did with this video. Like just so next level and so good. When, like I said, I've watched so many bands like that. They're just, on their journeys and, 3-4 albums in deep. And sometimes I'm like, man, we're talking about even some legacy acts that don't even put this much effort into a music video, where, man, I was watching a band, I'm not going to name them, but man, I was watching one of their videos and I was like, God, this is like the most lazy video that they could have like done for this. Like it's like incredibly like just uninspired, like and I get it. Like when you've been doing this for 20 years, like it's hard to come up with a new concept. But man, did they look like they did not give a shit? Does that make sense? Like the video just looked like that, where they were just like, we're doing this because we have to.
And it's like, then just don't do it. Then don't do it. Like, come on, man. Shit. Heather, I saw your comment, and I think it was you or somebody else that was making me smile when I was looking through some of the comments earlier. But yes, I think Citizen Soldier would be great to check out tonight. Right now, I think on my list of things to do is check out the new Skinner Brothers song. Citizen Soldier sounds pretty good. And then I think I got one on the Discord that somebody I think put that I told them I was going to do for sure. And that's the thing, guys. Is honestly, man, I tell you, I'm learning, trying really hard to learn how to prioritize. It's tough because I want to tell everybody yes. I'm so much of a people pleaser. I've learned this about myself in my life that I want to tell everybody yes and I want to make everybody happy, but it's so very hard to do. And on the internet, you definitely can't accomplish that. It's not good to be a people pleaser. You do got to learn how to tell people no, and you can't let people take advantage of you. But I do want to always tell people yes. So I do try to fit in as much as I can. And I try to never, ever tell somebody that I will do a reaction and then not do it because I just hate people that do that kind of stuff. And I try to never really ever verbalize it that way. So that way it's never an accidental thing of me accidentally saying that I would do it and I didn't end up actually doing it. So I'm so sorry if I do ever do that. I'm so sorry. So if I've ever done that to you, I totally apologize. Joe, I forgot to say hi to you, I think, earlier. I saw your comment. You made me laugh. That was one of the other ones that made me laugh, was when you said that all of the songs from The Warning are my first and second favorites. And I was like, yes, there's a lot of you guys that I know that you're giving into that. You know what I mean? But there's a few people where they're saying it as if it's not that. Does that make sense? Like and like I said, I could read into the nuance sometimes when you guys are putting it out there in the comments. So I consider myself to be a pretty savvy fellow. So I'm normally picking up what you're laying down typically most of the time. So like when people do stuff like that, I do know what you're doing. So that comment made me laugh for sure. Where am I at? That was a response. His reaction. Hilarious. I feel like I missed something somewhere. Somebody was saying I was wrong about some sort of opinion, but I'm like, I don't remember what I was talking about, so I'm not gonna focus on that. Aaron's talking about all the costumes in VHS is next level. Personally, I like what they did with Arya the most, where they embedded the bass strings into her body costume and then made her as a marionette. Yes, that shit was so cool, man. The fact that they were talking about that on their live stream with Jesse, if you guys haven't seen that or watched that, make sure you check that out as well. They had a really good discussion, a really great discussion, actually. I think probably the best interview that they've done so far was with Jesse at Bell Development this last go around. Really great conversation with them. But they talked about how like they used her actual bass strings to like hold her up in that part. So like, you know, the way that they just thought so outside of the box and the team. I think let me actually go check here real quick. I think that they released their behind the scenes thing on their website. Either that or it's coming soon. I was a little delirious when I saw the last post. So let me see. Zach reacts. Okay, cool. Good for you, bro. Reacting to Freeze the Fall. There's our friend Ashlina. Cool. And we already watched her video. What's Freeze the Fall? There you actually them. Oh, look at that. They hit 6,000 views. Awesome. That only going up, baby. Only going up. Videos. Videos. Latest. Okay, yeah. I don't think it's been released yet. But when it does, I want to watch. I don't know how long it's supposed to be either. It might just be like a little short clip thing. So I'll have to check that out. Part 1 was released today. Real question, they used flats, half round, and full round, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
All right. Let's see. All right, let's get into. Let's do, like I said, we're going to do Citizen Soldier, and we're going to start with the Skinner Brothers, because I think I already added the Skinner Brothers to my jump here. We're going to check them out. That looks like them.
It's over today. Any sort of words of congratulations?
Oh, yeah, sure enough. 826 views 6 hours ago. Perfect. All right, let's do some boosting. All right. We'll boost after we watch. Well, we got to get some opinions here, too, guys. So let me go ahead and turn on my thing. Let me turn on my shit here. Capture. All right. Oh, it's not on. Why is it not on now? Oh, there we go. This one, sorry guys, the Streamlabs just operates a little bit differently than OBS does. So some of the things are just a little quirkier. So I'm not quite as fast at this side of it yet than I am on doing some of the other ones. So yeah, that is not the one we want. This is the one we want. Yeah, we'll just fuck it. Fuck it. Let's just do it this way. Skinner Brothers. We got white gold. Here we go. Oh, shit. Now I'm going too far.
It's over today. Any sort of words of congratulations?
Nah, mate, I preferred him when he was on the gear.
She got that white gold, trap with a little bit of wood. She got that bass tone, that banging on the drums, it's like a stone. Rose, don't point that camera at me, man, I won't pose.
Oh yeah, fuck that up. Can we go
Yeah,
again?
yeah, these motherfuckers don't know nothing about me. Jump up and down and made adrenaline fit. Their face, she looking like a zombie. Tat twerks and everything that come in between them on the white gold and the two top white lines and white stuff. Credit card buff on the white gold, tearing up the road.
That's what I'm saying, man. Is like there's something about this band that even though it's like so like unorthodox, if that's it's probably the perfect word that I can think of to explain what they come across to me, is like I've never heard anything that sounds like what they do. And I've listened to so many things that sound like it's like inspired by. Does that make sense? Like they just sound so unique and original. And like I said, they're the kind of artists that like they're just gonna keep writing. They're gonna like this is a simple like little beat, but it's interesting. It keeps it engaging for me, and I dig it. Like I said, it's got a vibe to it. Like the way he carries the flow overall, just through the record and the verse, is sick, man. And like I said, he's got a heavy accent, you know, where especially me as an American is intriguing to me because it gives it a lot more rich originality, you know. Because if he was just some kid from like down the street that sounded like every other American kid, it probably wouldn't be as intriguing to me. But again, the way that they create music is like it's I'm trying to find the right words to say, because I feel like I almost like gave him a little bit of like a negative comment with that, but I didn't mean it that way. I meant it more like that's where the accent, I think, gives me the originality factor, is where he doesn't just sound like some kid down the street. His accent makes it sound like an environment I'm not familiar with, even though the environment is probably very similar to environments that I am familiar with, but I'm not familiar with how people talk this way. This is, like I said, the very first song I ever heard from them, like I said, they sounded youthful. That they sounded like this is what the youth of this area, like their slang. You know what I mean? Where like a lot of older people are not going to like this vibe because the older people never like younger slang. Does that make sense? When I was a teenager, people hated the way that we talk. Now that I am older and all of my kid and all of the, you know, other kids or that were my age or having their kids and stuff like that, and they're all younger and now they're all becoming teenagers and whatnot, like the way they talk,
do we not have millions of memes and videos out there of making fun of Gen Z kids for how they talk? You know what I mean? It's just we repeat history literally and think that we don't do it. Does that make sense? Like we think that we're not our parents, but we do the same thing to our kids and make fun of them for how they talk when they made fun of us when we talked different from them. Does that make sense? Like we just do the same thing over and over again and people don't even really realize it. Does that make sense? That's why like I don't make fun of the Gen Z kids for the way that they talk. I just find it interesting. Some of it is stuff that like, you know, like we would have never said that, but that's the same thing with our parents. We're like, we would never talk like them. You know, it's stupid. Why would you say that? Why would you ever do that? It's literally the same things that we did. Literally the same thing. So I never hate like youthful slang. But that's where I feel like I get from this band is the originality factor and that pull from that.
Fuck to this small town with no sleeping on the vibes tougher when you dance. Shh. I got more stuff, yeah. She got that word, go. Track to the bottom of the top, but got that bass. Smoke, forever underdog, they said I'm lame, bro. Pretending like they don't know, but they know. Coming like these motherfuckers don't know nothing about me. Jump up and down, they made adrenaline free. Their face, she looking like a zombie. Got that twerks and everything that come in between them on the white gold and the two top white lines and white stuff. Credit card buff on the white gold. Tearing up the rug to this small town with no sleeping on the vibes tougher when you dance. Shh.
Hey, we gotta get a break on this, man. Let's take it back to 2K3.
She got that Monday, Tuesday, sick of food, yeah, boy. Got a couple people telling me I got boys, but I don't care, cause tonight I want love, and a little bit drunk. These motherfuckers don't know nothing about me. Jump up and down, they made adrenaline free. Their face, she looking like a zombie. Got me twerks and everything that come in between them on the white gold and the two top white lines and white stuff. Credit card buff on the white gold. Tearing up the rug to this small town with no sleeping on the vibes tougher when you dance. Shh.
Hey, we're on tour right now, man. If you ain't got tickets to come see us, change that, bro.
Years sober today.
That shit is fire, man. I don't want to be that guy that says it's like my new favorite song from them, but I feel like it is. Like this shit's catchy as shit, man. I like this. This reminds me of songs like when I said listening to it. It reminds me of things that like when you go to the show. This is the one you'd be singing back, bro. Like you know what I mean? They got catchy. Like, you know, catchy hooks, man, and like their energy is fun, and I fuck with it, man. I like it. Like I like the fact that they added that, like yo, bruv, we on tour. If you don't got tickets, change that, bruv. I love that they did that. Like, you know what I mean? That's fucking sick. When you're putting out songs all the time, like you could do shit like that. You know what I mean? It's fun. It makes it like seem like you're that much more close with the artist and close with the band. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's. Especially when you're kind of like you know, like more, I don't even know what you want to call it. Like, you know, like, I'm not even gonna label it. I'm just not gonna label it. I'm just gonna say when you're an artist like this, when like I said, you put out a lot of music, it's fun. I like it. I dig it. I dig it, man. This was fun. Thanks Anna for reminding me about Skinner Brothers because I almost forgot about them. Heather, we're gonna get into Citizen Soldier next, and then I gotta double check my Discord. I don't know if she's on here today. It might not be the best idea if she's not on here. I might have to wait. Maybe I'll wait for Women Who Rock Wednesday for her. But this Women Who Rock Wednesday on the live stream, we're going to check out some new women who I have not checked out before. One in particular is going to be our good friend. What is there? Florence and the Machine. I have made a few promises to check that out. This next Women Who Rock Wednesday. And I know what you're probably thinking, Johnny, that's not a rock band. But we've changed that as well. Like we're talking about Women Who Rock is loosely basically means women who are badass. That's pretty much what it means now. Citizen Soldier, and I gotta remember the song that she told me to check. Where is it? She said, where is she? She said about Citizen Soldier. The music has literally changed my world. Is there a specific song, friend, that you would like me to check out, ma'am? From Citizen Soldier. I think that you had given me a specific one before. I could probably find that comment too. Oh, I gotta do some boosting real quick too, guys. I forgot to do that. See, I'm already subscribed. See, that should show you right there that I do like this band. Oh, look at that, man. Texas Rendo. Way to go, man. Way to go. It's gonna be on repeat. Fuck yeah. Wicked, UK Magic. It's been on repeat. Love it. Nice one. Change of pace, mate. Another banger, boys. You guys are fire. Got it. Yep, let's go. That's what I said. With the boosting, you got to make sure you're not liking the bad comments, too, right? You don't want to encourage bad behavior. Definitely don't want to do that now. That's the problem, man. It's like, you know, as much as oh, boy. I don't want to open that door or else I have to start talking about it. Yeah. Keep the negativity off the internet. If it's eating you up that much and that's what they're talking about, then go ahead. But yeah, just don't shit on artists' page just because you don't like it. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Don't hurt people's feelings just because you feel like you need to say something. It's not cool. It's not cool. Love it. Rachel B. All right, we done some boosting, and we gotta make sure we give them more rock, Teddy. Say love you guys. Rock Teddy. Actually, we're gonna add a little bit more. We're gonna give them the love you guys. This one was fire. We'll leave the double in there for that one. Cool. All right. Citizen Soldier. Did we get a song that we wanted on that one specifically? I don't see. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, my friend. We're a whole mask fam. Yeah, the mask thing is cool. I dig the mask vibe for sure. Let's see. I feel like she gave me a very specific song that she wanted me to do, and I feel like I could find it if I pull up. Okay, yeah, we'll just put this up here. We'll make this easier. All right, where was I? Let's see. Go to my channel, community. Where we at? Where's the phone? Jesse. Here we go. Independent artist. It was on here. Swear to God, it was on here. Here it is. French. We did him. Maybe she put it somewhere else. Oh well. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Let's check let's just go see what they got up on there. Let's just see what they got. Oh wow, they got lots of 653.
This is a
Good old days. Oh, this might be a little too heavy for me today, bro. This might be already a vibe. Oh boy. Oh yeah, that's right. I totally did a terrible job of this. My wife. I talked about this last live stream. I did a terrible job. The Skinner brothers. They are from the UK. I can't remember exactly what town they're from, but the Skinner brothers are from UK. Apparently, they are cool with the Wren family. Somehow, some ways associated. Wren apparently gave them a shout out, put them on to something, whatever. But yeah, they are apparently somewhere in that part of the world. Non-American band over there from the UK. Shout out to Monster Energy. Not a greedy man, just in case a month. They don't pay me to say this. I don't know if I can. It's like I say, man. I don't know if I'm going to kind of vibe today to go down Citizen Soldier path, especially at this little taste I got here in the beginning. I put everything dark mode. Blah blah blah. Okay, let's see. I swear I had another one lined up for this today. All right, while we think about it, let's go ahead and try to find that Freeze the Fall video. Somebody had to put it in here. That'd be kind of cool to check out.
channel of the production company Orphan Uranium. Let's see. Orphan Uranium. Aha.
Ready, go.
Here we go. 2-minute video. All right, even better. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Oh, now.
Essentially, they're making a music video where he was kidnapped by a serial killer who is building their dream band out of body parts from musicians. Oh my god. So Jonah needs to look like he's been like stripped of his identity, like he's now the drummer the serial killer wants him to be.
We're gonna figure it out, aren't we?
I can see it going on.
Jonah, there's nothing I can't do.
Jonah didn't want to get his hair cut, so I said I'd shave my head, and I got Ginny to start cutting my head.
I'm with you. You couldn't shave the locks, brother. Can't shave the locks.
Your mom with former hairstyles.
Ones, right? No. Moral support, Jonah.
I appreciate it.
I don't think it was giving him any confidence.
How do you feel? Look at my face. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. No one's gonna make you do it. You good?
I'm doing it.
Okay. You're doing it. I love you, Jonah.
Come here.
And if this looks terrible, you can never hold me accountable.
Hello.
I'm here for moral support.
It's hilarious to me doing this. Sorry, I know it's gonna pull a little.
Yeah, all good.
Slower. It's just pulling. So scissors it is.
You want and like straighten it out.
Okay, so next door, Jonah, if
It's
you
up to
guys
you.
want to get it done professionally, they're open and it's like $20 to get your hair like professionally cut. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, do you want to go there and get a professional?
Yes.
Yes! I feel pretty good about it, but okay. I feel a little let down by the system, actually. I feel like I was put to work, and then basically, if I was in a union, I would file a complaint.
We went to a professional barber shop right beside where we're filming. How convenient is that? But I'm the only person here getting my hair cut. But
Be free, bird.
Ready, go, now.
Be bigger than life. I'm proud, man. I'm proud of everybody.
Yeah,
You got the coverage.
Am I crying
Like-
still? Oh my god.
this is
Oh!
yeah. Hell yeah.
It's my favorite thing I've ever done.
Ready, to, go, now. Ready, go.
They should have what they could have done, bro. Instead of have him shave his head or whatever, they could have just like braided his hair up and shit like Travis Barker in like '99, bro. You know what I mean? Like they could have just gave him like the corn look. You know what I mean? They could have went in some different directions to give him a different appearance as a drummer. Like I think that they said that like, you know, they were supposed to be like creating like different, like the perfect drummer, right? Like, so like Taylor's arm and this arm and that arm and blah, 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 blah. Like who I think it's supposed to be open for interpretation. Like, you know, which drummer is the perfect drummer, if you will, because, you know, that's an argument everybody could have till the sun goes down, to be honest with you. All right. Let's see. The haircut was more traumatic than the amputation. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. I don't know what kind of in the mood, guys. I don't know if I'm really feeling the live reacts today, to be honest with you. I didn't necessarily come on here to do that, per se, but I have been on here for an hour and 10 minutes. Do burden or something later than that. Okay, we'll do that. And I think we'll probably wrap it up and call it an evening for the day, because I might do this again tomorrow. We might do the independent artist only thing, because I liked that idea. That way we go into the whole entire idea of just doing nothing but reactions tomorrow. Citizen Soldier, burden. Women who rocks chinchilla. Yes, we need to do more. I gotta do more chinchilla for sure. She is on my list to do in the next couple of days. Her and Liliac are heavy on the list right now. I know that some of the Warning Army are probably going to hate to hear that. tend to not like them for some reason. Burden official lyric video. All right, I swear to God, girl, if this makes me cry, I'm gonna be upset with you today.
I think you say sorry.
Oh boy, it's gonna make me cry, yo. Oh boy, okay, all right. Let's put the hat on. Let's put the face on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's check this out. You are not the first person to tell me I needed to check out. Still need to get your sister's input on Florence. Yep, I definitely need to. I need to make sure that she's gonna be here on Wednesday. Cause I told her, I'll give you a week heads up. We're gonna do Florence live. You better be there. Better be there. All right, let's go ahead and check out Citizen Soldier for the very first time and their song Burden. Is there a better video? Is there a better video than this Burden one? Hold on. I might have rushed into this, guys. I might have rushed in. I'm sorry. Okay, I think the lyric video is all we have. Okay, all right, just making sure.
I think you say sorry too much. I think you got issues with trust from the voices in your head that say that you're too hard to love. I think you still live with the ghosts of people you needed the most, that let you down and taught you how to keep your closet door closed. But I've been there and I would rather die than watch you drown in tears that you need to cry. You can talk to me. I can tell that you're not okay. You can spill your guts, I won't leave. You are not a burden to me. You can talk to me. Even down in your darkest place, you can let your skeleton scream. You are not a burden to me.
I really like overall the message of this song for sure. Oh man, it's kind of giving me a little bit of the chills, man. Kind of even thinking about it, just like just the overall message behind this. This is definitely one of those mental health songs where this guy, either himself and like I said, you can't fake this stuff. You can't just like come out of nowhere and talk about these things, right? So this guy, either himself or to me, it doesn't sound like it's necessarily him. It sounds like somebody he really cares about, that he's writing a song to that person who's saying that, because I would feel like if he dealt with that kind of stuff himself, he wouldn't write this personal song. You know what I mean? It's more about like the understanding of the people who do feel that way. Does that make sense? Where maybe it's like a partner in his life, or maybe a family member, or just a close friend or something, but he definitely has somebody close into his life that was what drove him to write this. Does that make sense? Because if there's one thing that I have heard pretty consistent in my life is that I'm not a burden, and I say that quite a bit. That I try to not use those words because it's like one of those things that, like, when you've been dealing with depression for so long, you know what words trigger other people to say certain things to you, and you try to not use them. Does that make sense? So when you say something about I'm not trying to be a burden, a lot of times people, like, when they hear that, they're really quick to be like, you're not a burden. Does that make sense? So like they're very quick to like put your guard down of that when they hear somebody use that. That's like when I say you can't fake this kind of understanding unless you're very self-aware of it. You know what I mean? Like it's you can't just, this isn't just like a when you need to talk, I'm there for you song. This, even though that's kind of what it is, it's the real version of that. You know what I mean? There was a real person that they were thinking about when they wrote this song. It sounds like to me. And I could be completely wrong because, you know, art is created in so many different ways, where this could have been different lyricists in the band. It could have been somebody that's writing this song to him, and he is the one who deals with the depression, and he's the one who's going to sing it. Talk about a fucked up way to, like, you know, you know what I mean? That's like if I had a band and my best friend wrote the lyrics to this song and was like, here, Johnny, now you go sing it. You know what I mean? Like, that would be fucked up to do somebody. Oh man, now I'm getting off track. I'm so glad. I'm not gonna say that.
I think that you never get hurt by thinking someone's got it worse. Been minimized so many times that you believe it's deserved. I think you've been silent since youth, 'cause every time you speak your truth, you're stigmatized, re-traumatized by all the things you didn't choose. I don't mind your darker side, you can lose control. I'd rather hear your hell than see your funeral. You can talk to me. I can tell that you're not okay. You can spill your guts, I won't leave. You are not a burden to me. You can talk to me. Even down in your darkest place, you can let your skeleton scream. You are not a burden to me. The monsters that you're holding back, there's no need to dress them up. Your ugly truth, give depth to you. Now there's so much more to love. You can talk to me. I can tell that you're not okay. You can spill your guts, I won't leave. You are not a burden to me. You can talk to me. Even down in your darkest place, don't ever be ashamed of your needs. You are not a burden to me. You are not a burden. You are not a burden. You are not a burden to me. You are not a burden. Monsters that you're holding back, there's no need to dress them up. Your ugly truth, give depth to you. Now there's so much more to love.
That was Citizen Soldier, and the song was called Burden. This was their official lyric video. I'm trying to get better about reminding people, if you had just hopped into the chat, what we're listening to and what we're watching in the first place. That was actually a really great song. To be honest with you, it's not quite my overall taste in terms of the overall like sound, if that makes sense, in the way it's produced and delivered as the art that it is, and what it reminded me of. And like I said, I don't compare bands to each other, but what honestly this song took me to a place in time, if that makes any sense. And I'm glad Heather for you suggesting this song, and I want to make sure that you understand that even though I say that this is not my taste, there's a lot of things that I want to talk about when it came to what I heard from this. And a lot of things that I got from this song. Like I said, even though this is not my typical taste and or bag in general. But yeah, we gave it a like. Make sure we get up a little Rock Teddy. And then we will kind of get into the discussion, because I feel like I have some things I want to say about this. Okay. Give me a Rock Teddy. Oh, let's do some boosting real quick. Sorry, guys. We got it. We don't discriminate that way. We don't. We gotta still show some love. You know, the truth gave you the depth. Yeah, the lyrical content here is very, very good. And like I said, please don't get it twisted. Just because I'm not screaming and shouting about this song, it's not that kind of thing. I am really the hardest person to share, or expect people to, I guess, relate to some of these type of songs in the same ways. And you guys have already kind of heard me talk about that a few times before. But this song, you know, there's a thing where I think we talked about this a little bit before too, where there's this thing, and I think there's a science behind it, where when you hear music sometimes, often like smells, it'll take you to like a very specific place in time. And like, I know scientifically the smell one is a thing. Excuse me. I can't swear to God. I can't swear about the music one, but I think it is. But this song definitely took me somewhere when I listened to it. It reminded me of when I was in boot camp. When I was in boot camp for the military and going to like the Sunday services, like the chapels, and the music that they played there. Like it sounded like literally exactly like the stuff they played there. There was a song that they played, and I was almost every Sunday I was like hoping that they would play that or sing that song, and then like this song reminded me of that. Does that make sense? I have no idea what it was. I couldn't tell you a single lyric of it and any of that. It's kind of like that. It was kind of a here and there thing, but I feel like this song took me there. Does that make sense? And I feel like the way that they really kind of tackled and dived into this overall discussion of what the message behind this song is was really important. And I think that it's words people need to hear. I have dealt with depression for what feels like my entire life, but when it feels like so long, it just feels so like it just feels so every day to me. Does that make sense? Where I'm like, this. On a day like today, I don't need to hear that I'm not a burden. But tomorrow, I might need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might need somebody to please tell me I'm not a burden. You know what I mean? Like, that is how quickly, like, and how strongly you could feel some of those things. Does that make sense? Where I'm like, on a day where I'm feeling all right, I don't have that need. But there's been so many times that I can't even tell you that I just would call somebody just begging for somebody to tell me that I'm not a problem, that I'm not interrupting their time. I just need somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I've done this plenty of times already, and there's a guy I even think about now, where anybody who has ever messaged me or even made a comment about like this, how they were feeling in the moment when it came to harming themselves and the thoughts of that, if you will. And every time that anybody has made a comment to me or even alluded to some of those kinds of things, saying like, hey, I think about these things too. I'm thinking about something like that today, or anything remotely close to something like that. I always tell people, and I encourage people to, if you feel like you need to talk and you don't feel like you have anybody else that you can talk to, please DM me on my Instagram. I check it pretty frequently, and it's the easiest way to directly message me, where I can see who you are and we can have our own private conversation. Does that make sense? Like on my Discord, there's not really, I don't think, a way for you to kind of like directly message me that way. I don't think, without it basically being public, if that makes sense, in that kind of aspect, or potentially public. So I always tell people that if you need to, and there's been people that have, and I mean it when I say that, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be in that position. I know what it's like when you have 5 people that you can talk to, and you don't want to call any of them because you feel like you're a burden, and you feel like you put that burden on them every single day. I know what that feels like too, because I live that every single day. That is that part I was talking about, where today I don't feel like I am a burden, right? But tomorrow I like want to end my own life because I will think in a moment that my wife would have a better and easier life without me if she didn't have to deal with what I bring to her world. And I know that's not the right thing to think. And I know it's a terrible thing to think that. But that is how quickly it can change, and how quickly you need to be told, Johnny, you're not a burden. You're not. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying any of this, guys, for you guys to ever kind of like give me that kind of affirmation. I'm not ever looking for that. Somebody had made a comment, and I feel like they were aiming it at me. And I feel like they were, they made a comment, and they said that, like, you need to look at yourself if you get on the internet and talk about these things. I don't look at it that way.
I look at the fact that I have always given you guys who I am, and I can't talk about anything else that I don't ever talk about anything I don't understand. I think personally, when it comes to my mental health, for sure. And I think that talking about it can help people to not feel like you're alone, to not feel like you're the only person in a moment to feel that who feels this. Because like I said, today I don't feel this way at all, but tomorrow I can. And you know what I'm not gonna say I might, but you know, that quickly it can change. That quickly it can change. And I know it's fucked up thinking when it does happen, but it does happen all the time. And it's just this thing that we wish we weren't this way. You know what I mean? I've had so many people in my life tell me that I'm a weak beta bitch because I've attempted suicide. Like, you know what I mean? Even on my own fucking video, bro, like where I was talking about my history with that, and somebody went onto another video to not leave it on that one to say basically that I'm a bitch, that you know that they're also a veteran, and that I'm basically a bitch because of how I've dealt with my issues. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I have heard everything in the book about this, and when it comes to those kinds of attacks, you're never going to hurt my fucking feelings. And I'm never coming to the internet to look for people to tell me that I'm great. To tell me, hey, Johnny, it's going to be okay. You're not a burden. I'm not looking for that. Nor would I ever, like, come on here and ask you guys for that. You know what I mean? So, like, when somebody made that comment and I felt like they were aiming it at me, I was like, bro, that is not at all what it is, dude. This is more or less me trying to be open and explain, because it's very difficult for people to understand what we go through. You know what I mean? And then I'm not saying me as a veteran, but, you know, other veterans as well. But anybody who just deals with problems even similar to mine. Does that make sense? And, you know, my own fucking family doesn't understand me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, they think that they do. They've been telling me my whole life, I understand you better than anybody. You know what I mean? No, you don't, though. You really don't. If you knew the truth, you wouldn't say stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't do some of the things that you do because you knew I wouldn't like that. You wouldn't appreciate that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know what it's like to feel alone and have people around you that tell you that they think that they understand what you're going through, and when they really don't. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks, man. It sucks, and it sucks feeling alone, even when you know you're not. Even when I have a wife, I talk about her a lot, man. I talk about how great she is. Even my family now, man. My family's great. Like, they're very supportive. They're very loving, and I know that I can always reach out for them for anything. I got great friends. I feel like I have a good life. You know what I mean? I know that. I know I do. But it doesn't change those feelings. It doesn't. It's like it's such a wave, man. I think about like the past a lot, and just like, you know, the things that you wish you could do differently, and the way things might have been different if you would have done those things. And I understand there's something that you can do. It's all about pressing forward and moving forward. That's what life is all about, man. It's never about going back. It's all about going forward. The future is everything, because you can't change the past. It's already happened. It's gone. You know what I mean? Like, all you can try to do is just not make the same mistakes. And that's why it's hard when it comes to depression, is because you know it's coming. You know how to try to get over it. But those little tricks and things don't work every time. They don't. They really don't. You know what I mean? Like, they work sometimes, but they're not every single time. Like, you know, so that's why you have multiple steps, man. That's why I was feeling so good today, man. Because you know how long it's been since I've gone on a long drive and just listened to some fucking music, man. You know what I mean? And just kind of cleared my head. I got in my own bag, got in my own zone, dude. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I kill myself every week, every day, that I'm not putting out enough content. Every day, I feel like everybody's over here like, oh, what the fuck is Johnny doing all day? You know what I mean? He's only putting out 2 reactions a day. What the fuck could he possibly be doing? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I feel like I've done some things differently recently to, I think, clear my headspace and kind of go into some of this stuff a little bit differently than I ever really have before. I've gotten some good ideas that I think that I want to try to execute. I got a brand new series that I am going to roll out this week, and I know I promised my patrons. I'm the worst fucking Patreon owner that there was, dude. No wonder nobody's fucking signed up for that shit yet, man. I'm the worst Patreon guy there ever fucking was, dude. Like, I get it. I'm so I'm so appreciative of every patron that I have. And if you haven't joined, please join the free one, man. I want you to be a part of the community. It's just I just want you guys to be there. But I will get better about providing more stuff exclusively for those people. I just want to be able to give it to everybody, and I know I can't. You know what I mean? I want to be able to share it and give everybody everything. You know what I mean? I want to be able to give them what they're looking for and give them that, but I can't. I can't do it. I can't make everybody happy. But I'm getting ready to roll out this new series that I'm going to exclude from YouTube, and I'm going to leave it specifically for my patrons, where I'm gonna start getting and talking into like some of like the most personal songs that like are in my personal collection. I've done this thing with my best friend and my wife and a couple of my other really, really close friends. Again, I tried sharing it with some people and they never showed interest. They never really cared. I tried to explain kind of what it was. They never really seemed to care. And so I kind of just stopped sending it to them. But the ones that did continue to care and listen and understood what I was doing, I used to create basically playlists that were basically, I felt like my personal journal, if you will. Like, this is what I've been going through for the last 2-3 months. And I've never felt like I've had a really good job of explaining what was going on in my head, in my heart to people. Like what I was really going through at any point in time, really. Does that make sense? And I feel like music has always kind of been my way to communicate, if that makes sense. So I would create these playlists of like this is my story that I'm telling about what I'm going through right now. Does that make sense? And so most of the time, if it made it on that playlist, it probably had got a tear or two out of me. Not like bawling every single time, but like there was something about it that felt like I was giving a piece of my soul to somebody else. Does that make sense? Even though I didn't write that music. You know what I mean? Like it felt like it was a part of me that way. And so I'm starting this specific series of, basically talking about some of those songs and what those songs mean to me, and just kind of giving that little part of my soul back to my patrons, if you will, of like, this is like the most inner parts of what I can share with you, because this is what I share with the people closest around to me. Does that make sense? Like, where I don't know how to give much more than this, so this is what I do give to them. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna give it to my patrons, and I hope that they're gonna like it. It's gonna be a lot like kind of like a reaction where we're gonna listen to it and talk about it. You know what I mean? So I know some songs you guys are gonna be familiar with, and other songs you guys won't be. But that's kind of the point, right? Is like, there's always a good discussion when it comes to the art of music about everything, because there's always something interesting to talk about with all of it. Whether you like it or don't like it, whether you think I'm wrong or right about something, I appreciate you for checking out the videos and support in general. You know what I mean? Like I said, if anything, you're showing support for the algorithm, for the artists that I'm trying to support. So if you don't like my video for that particular reason, it still benefits the artist. So that, that's the good thing. Like I said, I know I'm not talking to you guys out there. That's just more or less talking to the ether of the internet. You know what I mean? I do a lot of like venting out loud that way to kind of like, it's very mantra-like, where it's like you got to kind of keep saying it. So that way, like, it starts sinking in a little bit. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, don't let it bother you. It's just helping the algorithm of the artist you're trying to support. Because like I said, if they didn't like your video and they left that comment, they're probably not coming back. And the thing is, guys, is some of those people that have left some of those comments, they've come back. And I've been surprised. The people I thought I'd never see again, they pop up again later. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. Maybe they thought about it differently again, or something. I don't know. Because like I said, I feel like I've given enough of myself onto the internet and onto my channel for people to understand where I'm coming from, and kind of, I think, where my heart really lies when it comes to this whole what I'm trying to do here. So, I gotta remember that there's and appreciate you guys who get it. That's what I do it for. I don't do it for the people who don't get it. So, I appreciate you guys. I do. I say that a lot. I try to have always been that kind of guy to just to say thank you and to give appreciation to the people that matter. Because if you guys weren't here and enjoying this and entertained by what I do, I'd have to be trying to do dumber and stupider things to try to bring some attention to this, or think of my huge failure. But you guys definitely give me a lot of love and support, so I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I couldn't do this without you guys, and I really appreciate you, Heather, for suggesting Citizen Soldier. If I haven't said that already, I'm gonna say it again. Thank you so much for this song and suggesting this song, because I think it really just opened the door for just a great discussion in general, in terms of like, even if you don't understand mental health, or even if you don't deal with it yourself, that's a bit the same. Even if you don't deal with it yourself, I think it's important to understand and have a little bit of empathy for some of those individuals. And I feel like there's always something more that you can learn, no matter how much you think you know. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I've got it all figured out either, guys. I deal with it myself, you know what I mean? But I don't got it all figured out. And I don't really think anybody does, and there's no really way to figure it out like that. But I think it really is about just making the baby steps. The hardest steps are the first ones. Once you make them, it gets easier after that. And the next time you come back to feeling that way, you try those baby steps, and if they don't work, you try to baby step this way. You know what I mean? There's always something that you can do. And that's what I said. Sometimes the drive in the car doesn't help me. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it makes it worse. But it's very rare that it happens. But yeah, sometimes instead of the music, I just want to drone out for a podcast on a drive. And I just want to listen to a bunch of guys and girls talk about something stupid and make me laugh. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of, sometimes you need that kind of stuff in your life. I'm a big fan of comedy. I think that laughing is the most important thing that we have as human beings, because we don't have to do anything to create that other than just find some joy and excitement into something, and you can laugh. I love that quote a lot about you'll never wish that you laughed more on your deathbed, laughed less on your deathbed. You'll always wish that you had laughed more on your deathbed. It's the one thing you'll always wish you did more of. You'll never be ashamed of all those good times that you enjoyed giggling with your boys and your girls. Let's go ahead and check out this chat. I have not looked at this for a minute now. You guys have probably been like, fuck this guy, I'm totally leaving. Everything he does sucks now. Oh, man. Let's see. Where am I at in the chat here? Don't do the newest release. Do Burden or something later than that. Okay, I did Burden. Colorado, damn, Johnny Lee have been already. I hope you're still on here, bro. I just gave you a little 30, 40-minute segment probably since that comment. Burden would be great for tonight. Okay, I'm glad I did that one. How about some of the Sixers for tomorrow's Independent? Absolutely. Aaron, I've been looking and checking for new music from them, man, because they keep posting stuff on their Instagram, and I keep thinking that there's a new video out, but I even looked right before I got on here to see if there was a new one out, and I didn't find it. But yeah, we need to find something. So we'll talk about that. You give me a suggestion, and I'll go to you again for the Sixers, there, sir. You've held me down with that. I don't care if I lose subs. We're gonna keep doing them. I don't care. We gotta support those ladies. They are some awesome kick-ass ladies from the Ukraine. They got a great band, man. Great band. They're very, like, you can't put them in a box either. Like, they're all over the place, and they're amazing. Again, shout out to Monster. Make sure you hashtag them in the comment section. They don't pay me to say this. I'm not a greedy man. I just love your product, bro. The Sixers, everything I owned is pretty emotional. That's probably I could get a little emotional tomorrow. Like I said, we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. I know a lot of reactors like do one day record and then they release them out throughout the week. I don't do that. If you're a patron of mine, you probably have figured that out by now.
that I record every day, yo. I know I don't probably put out as much content like I'm sitting here recording every day, but I do. I record and edit and push it out every single damn day. And that's why I'm like, maybe I should just like live stream more and just react on live streams or something. But I'm like, now I just feel like I'm setting myself up for even longer days when I don't feel like I do anything else other than this stuff anyway. It's not a complaint, just more or less. I'm like, I gotta learn about being better about my time. It's all about the headspace, I think, too, for me. When I have better headspace, I can create the reactions a lot easier. I think it's less pressure on myself. Like I put too much pressure on myself. Problem I have with my suggestion is that I also watch a lot of woodworking channels. Sometimes artists I hit up get buried. Oh yeah. Honestly, I'm the same way. So, like, you know, I go onto, like, my other alternate YouTube account that I've had since I was, like, 17 or whatever. I go onto that one to watch, like, non-music related things on YouTube. Like, the things that I don't want my algorithm to get flooded with. I have to go onto that one, and then I forget that I don't have my premium on there, and I'm like, fuck my life! These ads, bro! These ads are killing me! You get used to that so fast. Oh my god! Let me tell you, I've had it for like I think this is like my 3rd month. I think having premium, and now I'm so spoiled that I can never go back. I can never go back now. Those ads are unbelievable. After you get rid of them, you'll never want to go back. Same for me with not being musically in my wheelhouse, but lyrically solid. Yeah, again, the lead singer is a psychiatrist. But he has also been in the psych ward. That's when he started writing music. Oh, that's so awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Heather. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that holds true to kind of what my thought was earlier, where it's like, you know, you don't and won't write a song like this unless you understand why you're writing this song. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of songs I feel that artists have written, and no names out there. Artists will write that are more or less the grab or the grasp at that community, if that makes sense. And I don't like that. I really don't like that. And I feel like I see through that pretty quick. This was not that. Like I said, this was something that was somebody who was trying to write something that actually was going to help somebody. That's why I think it sounds like a church record. That's why it reminds me of that. That's why it reminds me of a Sunday service record, is because I think it's supposed to give you that kind of feeling, like you're going to be better, and that you would be. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's what sometimes you need to hear in that moment. And like I said, this is the kind of song where just because it didn't hit me that way today, maybe it wasn't the day I needed to hear it. You know what I mean? But when you run to this and when you needed to hear it, that's exactly what it is for people. That's why it's created, and that's what he wanted to do. It wasn't the attention grab of like, let's write some song that everybody's gonna love because it's talking about mental health. Yeah. So this was not that. This was definitely not that. I really appreciated the lyrical content on that, and like I said, I think that the idea of them making it sound like that Sunday service record was, I think, on purpose. You know, I think it was meant to come across like that kind of feeling, and that's not a bad thing. You never know what can trigger an episode. Absolutely, Terry. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you never absolutely know. You know, I could talk for days about things that have triggered me in the past and don't trigger me now, or things that I know are certain triggers, and my wife will look at me immediately as soon as it happens. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really, babies crying, infants, like infant crying in public places is really difficult for me. And that goes back to war, and I can't help it, man, because babies are everywhere. You know what I mean? Babies are everywhere. I love kids. I love babies. I do. But as soon as they start crying, like, you know what I mean? Like my nephew's 1.5 years old now. I love that little dude. But when he was an infant and he was crying, I'd have to like walk outside. You know what I mean? And just kind of get away from it for a minute. And it was really, really difficult for me when my son was born. But at the same time, that was my son, and it was a different thing. But it still was very hard to be constantly reminded of something you didn't want to think about
from your own son. Does that make sense? Where like, you know, you're looking at him and it's just putting you back in a mindset that you just don't want to be. You know what I mean? It sucks. It does. It does. But like I said, that I've gotten better about that. At the end of the day, like, you know, what else more is a shrink going to tell me? That like you should avoid babies crying? Right. Like, you know, when you're on a plane and a baby cries, the baby doesn't want to be there. The mom and the dad don't want the baby crying either. We all act like these parents can just make the kid shut up. You know what I mean? They don't want them to cry either. They would obviously want them to be most comfortable and not crying. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that is like the hardest trigger. Does that make sense? How the fuck am I supposed to just avoid infant crying? Babies aren't supposed to be in public anymore because I could get upset. You know what I mean? Like, it's not their fault. It's just when it happens, I get some bad memories and I just go to a dark place, you know, pretty quick. You know what I mean? It's just, it's the fear of that where it's just like, I don't want to go there in my mind. You know what I mean? And like, you know, there's something I could do about that. You know what I mean? People have brought up some ideas about like, oh, you should go get hypnotized to see if they could fix that. I'm like, I don't know if I can get hypnotized. I don't know if that works. Oh, yes, you can DM on Discord. Okay, so that there is a direct message on Discord, you can hit me up there as well. If there is that, then please, like I said, if you ever feel like you need to talk or chat or anything, please, I'm the best place to talk to me in general is on the Discord. And if you ever want to feel like you need to have a private conversation about life, anything, just because, you know, you just need somebody to talk to, I would encourage you to please hit me up because I'm never going to ever turn somebody away that way. I know what it's like. I know what it's like. And like I said, I know what it's like to also have people in your life and not feel like in a moment that you just need to hear from somebody else. Like, you know, that kind of could relate to you, if that makes any sense. Apparently the song is taking you on a journey, maybe not up front while the track was playing, but giving you a lot to think about. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely given me a lot to think about as this thing was going on. Veteran line crisis, yes, absolutely. For those people who need that. Oh, what's going on, Elsie? That's horrible, and I'm so sorry. I really like you just the way you are. Oh, I appreciate that, Elsie. You're so fine. Oh my God, Ashleena's in here. What's going on, friend? Oh my God, somebody needs to tell me to shut up when some of these celebrities start hopping in my chat, man. What is going on? Oh, she's been in here for a minute. I'm the only Ashleena. Oh, I came in at a serious conversation. Yeah, we kind of got into a little bit of discussion about mental health. We were listening to some Citizen Soldier. Heather had given us a request for some of them, and we checked out, what's their song called again? Not Bother. Oh, man, I'm drawing the blank again. It was just here. What was that song called? Burdened. You're not a burden. Man, we just got done talking for 35 minutes about it. Man, that was the longest unpaid reaction I've ever talked about. The longest. Man, I talked about that one like somebody paid me to do it. You know what I'm saying? I went on for a minute talking about that song. I can't help it. If the song opens the door, that's just where I go. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where if I got something to say, I try to give as much as I can think of. Jesse stopped in earlier. Yeah, I did see when Jesse stopped in. Not really in your Patreon for exclusive content, amigo. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Yes, anybody who's in there who just flat out supported. That's why I said I appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, it's more important to me to be, honestly, for you guys to be kind of a part of the community. And like I said, I've always operated in the way that I feel like the money or financial side of things would work themselves out over time. So those of you who are able to donate and support that way, I'm so ever thankful for you guys. And those who can't and might be able to in the future, that's awesome. You know, like I said, it's not necessarily, I don't try to only do that, but like, you know, obviously if you do provide some support in that way, you know, I want to make sure that I give as much back to those people as possible. So they get extra special priority. But I try to give as much priority to everybody that I can. Like I said, I'm an ultimate people pleaser. The people who can't donate and do those kinds of things, I try to, you know, they have found other ways to give back to my channel and stuff like that. And I'm just eternally grateful for those people as well. So I appreciate everybody that swings by and hangs out in the Foxtrot family. It's always a good time. And that's why I said, I'm like, you know, I came all the way straight back, got some sleep, and I went and got some dinner with my wife tonight, and, you know, got to hang out with her for a little bit. And then I hopped right back on, and she said, "What's your plan for tonight?" I was like, "I gotta get back on the live, man." I'm like, "I gotta get back on here." I'm like, I get back to the grindstone. I was like, I just like this stuff too much, man. Yes, again, Steve's thanking Heather for her great suggestion. Yeah, you know, you're not always gonna get me to cry. You can't always get me to cry, but you know, sometimes you will crack the code to some great discussion. So I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, you definitely cracked the code for sure. For sure. Like I said, you know, you set me back to a place in time in a non-bad way. Does that make sense? Like that thought of boot camp was not a bad one. Does that make sense? It was definitely not a bad one. So definitely want to make sure that I made that clear. It was not a bad flashback. Oh, that's so nice of you, Maul. If anyone on the Discord wants to chat or vent, you can just tag me and I'll listen. Yeah, I think Maul's been talking to a few of you guys on the voice chat, just, you know, just chatting it up about life and stuff. So yeah, we are all about helping each other out in the community. That's the thing I think I've been the most happy about since I started this, is the fact that we've already started to build a community. It's so cool to see that. I talk about you guys, and like you guys are like, you know, my coworkers or something. You know what I mean? It's the excitement in my world is my community. So I appreciate you guys more than I can even say. Gonna take you up on that probably. Okay. If anyone needs to talk, I'll always be on and available. Yes, look at that. Like I said, just such beautiful things from everybody, guys. Like, man, we got nothing but blue in here today, man. We got all the moderators on here with the help. Yeah, it has been a good live stream, guys. It's been 2 hours. I think we're gonna hang it up tonight. I think we are gonna come back, and we're gonna run it back with the independents tomorrow. So do me a favor, if you guys are planning on doing any kind of submittals for independents tomorrow, please just double check and make sure that they are indeed an independent. I had a few people come back last time, just made things a little bit complicated. But the easier with that, the better. But I do think that we have a good handful of independent good artists lined up for tomorrow already. I think we've already kind of got a little list going on the Discord and the Patreon for that. So I think we probably have a good list to kind of start in the tuck. And I promise I won't just babble for the first 30 minutes and stuff before we get into reactions tomorrow. Like I said, today I was kind of coming in with the overall intention to just kind of talk and get with the chat and whatnot. But I figured we would probably eventually get into some music. So I figured it tends to happen that way. So, oh, thanks, Colorado Roddy. That hoodie is sick. Where is that from? This is the Freeze the Fall hoodie from the official Freeze the Fall hoodie website. Yeah, definitely go get some of that merch for sure. I think that I am going to be ordering the Snake hoodie this week. I've been wearing this one all week. Like I said, I've been wearing it every day since they put it, since Halloween, since they put it out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get the Snake one and probably a T-shirt or two, I think, as well, because all of the designs on that are so good, so very good, that if you do not have any of their merch, be sure to get some. But again, a lot of you guys already know that they're on that, and you guys already got some. So make sure you tag a friend, share Freeze the Fall song with somebody. Colorado Rodney, you send it to a friend. Send it to a friend who might like it. Send it to somebody and say, hey, have you ever heard of this band? They got a great song that just came out, and you should check it out. And especially anybody who likes horror stuff. You know what I mean? Send it to anybody who likes that kind of stuff. It's a fantastic song. Great, amazing song.
and definitely go give them some views, man. We're over 6,000 now for Freeze the Fall, so I was trying to get them to 10,000 this weekend. I can't think of anything else more to do to get them up there other than just try to keep spreading the love and keep spreading the attention. So they'll get there eventually, and they'll get there quickly, and hopefully next time we'll make it even bigger. You know what I mean? So like, it's only getting better every time that they release stuff. It's only growing and continuing, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here for it, and I know you guys are as well. And like I said, Skinner Brothers tonight. Thank you, Anna, for that. Thank you again, Heather, for the opening the door on the mental health discussion tonight. I'm always down to try to talk about some of those things. I think it's just important to just kind of talk about in general. So yeah, thanks everybody for the suggestions. Thanks again to all my moderators. You guys are the best. You guys hold me down. I can't thank you guys enough. I could just literally kiss your guys' asses for 20 fucking minutes every single video, but I don't. I just want to say thank you guys again for everything that you guys do for me. You guys make this worth wanting to do, if that makes any sense. So you make it worth it, and I hope everybody has a great, wonderful evening. And Terry, again, appreciate you. Paul, appreciate you too. Man, so many of you guys, just want to say thank you to you guys in everything. So I hope you guys are here. I'm here for the Foxtrot Babble. Yeah, I love it when you guys just let me go, man. It's awesome. Freeze the Fall merch is great. Ready swift delivery as well from outside of the U.S. Absolutely, yeah. Got here super quick, man. It won't be here in time for my next live stream, but I will make sure that snake, I'm getting it. I don't care. It's cold outside. I need another one. I'm gonna start alternating, man. But I will be back tomorrow night. Probably around the same time. Probably somewhere I'm around 7, 8 o'clock ish. In the early evening, if you will. And yeah, we'll keep it going. We got independent artists, and we are going to just run it back on some reactions tomorrow. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening, Sunday morning, Monday morning, wherever you are. Great rest of your day. Great rest of your morning, evening, night, whatever.